Hey everybody. It feels like almost every day I connect with someone that is super passionate about nutrition. They love helping people. They love the opportunity to make some money, be it like a side hustle or even their full-time thing. They would love to start nutrition coaching, but they just don't know how to get started. They don't know what that first logical step is, where they should focus their attention, what they should be doing. Do they need a website? Do they need clients? Do they need this certification? That kind of stuff. Tonight, I'm answering all those questions, and I'm really, really super excited to dive in. Before I do so, I'd love to know who's tuning in tonight. I know this is a bit of a off hour. I've been doing a live about at least every week, usually during the day, my time, but I had some space between calls. So I'm doing an evening one, which I'm excited about, but I'd love to know where you're tuning in from. If you have any questions, we have enrollment in the Dr. Marc method going on right now. So if you had any specific questions about that or just nutrition coaching in general, I would love to be able to have you leave this call with a piece of advice or a strategy to help you get your nutrition coaching going. So if there's anything pressing that you'd wish to ask, by all means, I'm all ears. I'd love to hear a little bit more about it. We've had quite a few calls for the program so far, a bunch of applications, a bunch of successful calls, people, some really good fits, people joining the program. The gap we're filling with the program is a lot of times people that they'd love to start nutrition coaching, but and they have a background in nutrition in terms of like they know what they need to be doing to get their own results, but maybe they just don't feel confident coaching others yet, or they have a baseline level of knowledge and they'd love to help others, but they just don't know like exactly what coaching would look like what's a coaching system, all that stuff. We're giving people the practical tools and strategies and approaches to be able to put that into action. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, let's chat a little bit more. I can drop my calendar in the chat here. If you're watching the replay, you'll see the program sales page in the application. You can fill out one of those, no pressure, just to fill me in on where you're coming from. We are going to have space in the program. It will fill up fast though. So if you're considering it, let's chat, go from there. But guys, fill me in. Where are you calling in from? What part of the world? Drop it in the chat. For those of you that don't know, I'm Dr. Marc. I'm from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada, Central Canada. Been a nutrition coach now for 12, 13 years. I'm also a strength coach by trade. I'm not sure you guys have known that I'm been really into competitive powerlifting for not twice that long, but 2007, that kind of thing. Hi, Alexander, California. Thanks for tuning in, man. Yeah, I've been that quite as long. I knew for the longest time that I wanted to get into nutrition, took a degree in chemistry, but then really didn't love chemistry, spent all my time in the weight room, and then decided to, pursue graduate school in nutrition, realized that I still wasn't going to be working with people, started doing some coaching, loved it, taught university courses in the science of nutrition and that kind of stuff, and was able to bring my passions together. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing now within the certification program and that type of thing. Where most people struggle to get started is that they don't know like where they should focus their energy, especially from the business component. I know a lot of people people will say to me, I want to get started coaching. What do I do? Do I start an Instagram page and start just like posting stuff? Or like, do I just start, giving advice to friends and family and that type of stuff? And the answer typically is just like a combination of all of it, right? The biggest thing being you definitely don't need a website. You don't need to spend a bunch of energy into like formalizing your business because you don't even know what your business is yet. You yourself are a passionate coach that can help people. So you just got to start helping people, ideally in a formal capacity, in a paid capacity. And what that would look like is having a system in place to take people that are, curious about what help would look like. A lot of times, like what that sounds like is, hey, I know you work out a lot. Like, what do you eat? What do I need to be eating? How should I diet? Should I be taking this supplement? The people that are asking these questions, you just need a way to take them and show them the value of coaching, because a lot of times these people don't know what coaching would like. They never, been in a formal coaching relationship. The whole industry itself is relatively new, but them for sure, they don't know why is it, how is it different than a Beachbody DVD? How is it different than an ebook? Are you just going to give me a meal plan? No, the coaching process will be like on an individual level, identifying where someone's at, where their food skills, where are their nutrition requirements, how do they need to be eating to reach a specific goal, prioritizing their goals, all that stuff, and coming up with an individualized plan, and then you know supporting them through the process of reaching that goal. It isn't just like, here's a plan and go. So we want to be able to demonstrate to these people that are curious about this stuff from the beginning how this is going to be different. In the Dr. Marc method, we call it the free nutrition report. It's a strategy that we use. It's completely lights out. It's so effective at taking people from curious and turning them into paying clients. We do that through a simple form to collect the right information, an email description around what you need to be doing to get people assessing their nutrition and kind of going from there, and then taking that information and displaying it to them so that they can see what's holding them back from reaching their goals. And that's usually a natural segue into coaching. So that's how we start doing that type of stuff in terms of like getting clients and showing the value of what we do. Then you need a nutrition coaching system. This doesn't need to be complicated. When I talk about a system, is that we just want like an organized way of handling, managing, and coaching our clients. We can do it really simple through like Google Sheets in terms of collecting the right information. We're telling them what to capture and how to use the information, but then we're collecting it on a weekly basis. And we're also asking them some questions routinely on a weekly basis to get a sense of how things are going, how well are they sticking to the plan, what things look like. And you can use the same system for each and every client. It doesn't need to change, but it does need to exist, because you may feel like, hey, I only got a handful of people doing this stuff. I could do everyone a little bit differently. But that doesn't create any repeatability. It's one of those things where it gets all over the place. And before you know it, servicing 4 clients is taking you the entire week, and there's definitely no room to turn this into a side hustle because you have no room or energy or time for anything else. You want to get that system in place right off the bat. You need a way to take people from curious to paying. We need a nutrition coaching system, and we also just need ways of getting clients. And getting people curious and interested about this stuff. Your first 5 to 10 paying clients are going to come from your social circle. It doesn't need to be truly online. The people that are going to be like referrals and word of mouth, it'll still be important for them that you have a social media presence, but it's not going to be like how they find you. It'll be the thing that they do to validate that you're a real human that works with people, that they kind of like, what you're all about. But it's more or less like just like checking some bases that you're a real person, and then kind of going from there. But we really, yes, maybe creating some social media content is good, but also just having conversations with people that already know that you're the person that can help them can be just as effective. We really just want to have an opportunity to talk to people that would be interested in this stuff. So instead of, when someone says, hey, how are things going for you? The next time you run into someone in the grocery store or at the gym, you don't just say, hey, pretty good. You say, things are really good. I started my nutrition coaching business. I'm helping people, lose weight, improve their performance. They're like, oh, that's interesting. I've been thinking about getting some help, or what does that look like? That's all you need to do. Start having conversations with people. And that's how we start this process of like taking our passion for nutrition and turning it into an actual coaching business that's professional, that people are paying us, and kind of go from there. In terms of paying us, probably the best way to actually structure your business would be to sell it on like a monthly rate, a monthly recurring rate. People will go month to month, but you can set up, a Stripe recurring payment button that charges them at the same time every month. You don't need to, there's no setup costs or anything like that. Stripe just takes a portion of the actual payment, that kind of thing. That way you're not chasing people, that type of stuff. You have it all set up. You work with them through time. They know exactly when their check-ins are, how you'll be checking in, expectations around that. Now you're starting to create a process that's scalable. You can see my shoulders. It feels good, right? When you kind of have that system in place and you know what to rely on. These are all the kind of things that we help people step by step work on in their own nutrition coaching businesses in the program. My certification program. The gap we're filling is all application. If you feel like I'd love to be able to do this stuff, I just don't know what's next. I just don't know what now. You got to check out our program. It's life-changing. I'm not just saying that. I really, really, truly do believe that. I'm going to drop the actual program page in the chat. If you've never checked it out, go check it out after we're done the call. Go see what it's all about. Read the stories. Learn a little bit more about what's different about our approach and how we navigate things. I don't think that'd be time well spent in terms of if you've been following along the channel long enough, you like what we're about, you like that we get straight to the point and give you what you need. This is like that times a million. It really, really is. Who's got some questions about starting this process or the program? Alexander, do you have any? If you guys are tuning in the replay, number one, I thank you. I appreciate that. Feel free to add a comment to the actual stream and I'll make sure to get it later. I can see those. I will get to it. But does anyone that's tuning in right now have any questions? If I just knew that this one thing, if I just had one answer to this process, it'd be so easy to get started. What's that thing you're thinking about it? Thinking about? Drop it in the chat. Let me know. Alexander says, how would you recommend moving forward with online coaching after talking to your local people? This is a really good point. So even at the height of my one-on-one nutrition coaching business, obviously I'm running the certification program now. Most of our energy is there. We create 3 YouTube videos a week. We put tons of energy into education-based stuff. But when I was doing one-on-one nutrition coaching, everyone that was coming into my coaching, I knew through in-person connections. What I would do though is I would take those people from in person and then do the fulfillment in the actual coaching online. That's what allowed it to be scalable. That's why I never opened my own gym, because I was like, I don't really see the point of this. Why am I going to take out a lease somewhere when I can help people on my own terms from the comfort of my own home, that kind of thing. That's how I always navigate that stuff. So what I would do though with these people that are interested about this stuff is like, hey, why don't I grab your email? I'm glad you're interested. Why don't I grab your email and I'll send over a form to collect a bit more information about where you're coming from so I can answer that question, give you a little bit of insight around how I work with people. And if it makes sense for us to talk about actual coaching, we'll go from there. That's how I would take them from an in-person conversation to shuttling them over to an online capacity in just like a simple way. I think that's the way you got to always think about it is like, how do I get them over to the online stream as quickly as possible so that I can do all the fulfillment on that side of things. To be honest, that's where most industries are going. We have the technology to be able to pull off that really, really effectively. I almost dropped my laptop off. It should be staying. But that's how I would go about that. Does that make sense, Alexander? That's what I would go from there. If you're digging the answers, if you're getting some value from this discussion, make sure to hit that like button, add a comment. If there's something new that you're learning, I'd love to hear it in the chat. That's what helps that sort of engagement is what helps the channel grow. So let me hear it. What else you got? What other questions would be helpful? I've only heard from Alexander too, in terms of where you guys are from. This is a community that's growing. We're getting approximately 500, 600 new subscribers to the channel every month on a monthly basis, and the community's growing. A lot of familiar faces and names in the comments, in the webinars we do, showing up in different like challenges and that kind of stuff. I really value this community and a group of people that are all looking to help people with the power of nutrition. It's really, really cool. So feel free to introduce yourself and fill me in on where you're coming from and what you're up to. When I say we with the channel as well, I do get a lot of support from our team on the YouTube front for sure. Coach Josie, who you've probably seen in the channel quite regularly, she helps me out with quite a bit of some of our video development and managing editors and that type of stuff. We always have different editors working on projects and that type of stuff. That's what allows us to create, 2 to 3 high quality YouTube videos every week. If there's any specific requests for topic ideas or things we haven't covered yet or anything like that, by all means, let me know in the chat. What do you want me to cover? Is it more carnivore diet stuff? Is it cool? With those local referrals, I assume you wouldn't recommend doing an internship, like in terms of like maybe like free paid services or sort of like a free trial at the beginning. There's no reason why you can't do that. When you're doing a free trial or something along those lines, and correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm getting what you're laying down here, you just want to be explicit around like the start and end date. So it's like, hey, I'm just getting my nutrition coaching going, and I'd love to work with you. You're the exact type of person that I'm looking to help. Why don't we do this? Why don't I coach you for free for a month? This is a service that typically costs $200 per month, but for the first month, I'm paying for it. Let's see how it goes, see how you enjoy it, see how you enjoy the results that come from it. And then after the month's over, we'll talk about next steps and if this is something you want to continue on with. That's how I would roll that out. It's a really easy way to, number one, you get some experience as you get going and then kind of go from there. I don't see why. I'm not against working for free and creating some things that allow us to get experience and position ourselves as experts and kind of go from there. It's just, it can't go on forever would be the first thing. And the second thing is like, it is worth it. Like people that pay attention. So don't dismiss that aspect of it as well. Any other questions, guys? If not, I'll be tuning in live almost every day this week. Feel free to give me some topic ideas if you're interested in that stuff. And if you're interested in the program at all, by all means, check out that link, drmarkmethod.com/program for more details. You'll learn more about the program. Enrollment will be closing next Wednesday, June 26th at around 11 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, PM. Get your application in and we'll have you on board. What information would you be looking for from a person at the beginning? Says Alexander. Really, our initial form that we want them to fill out, it should be designed around conversion. You want them to fill it out. You don't want them to have be doing so much work that they don't want to do it. So I'd have, in this order specifically too, the first question would be around what they want to accomplish. It's like, can you specifically state your health and fitness goals in order of priority? If there's more than one, for example, lose 15 pounds. Next question, why is this goal important for you? What will it allow you to do that you're not currently doing? Next question, on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you to make a change in your life? 10 being extremely motivated. Have you tried anything else in the past? Was it successful? And if not, why not? Would be another question. And then name and 2 forms of contact information in terms of like email and probably phone number, because email responses get missed all the time, that kind of stuff. So it's nice to be able to have a alternative way of contacting them so that you can, chat with them through a different mechanism. I put that together in a form. That's what I send off. Then from there, They fill that out. You send some follow-up steps to gather a bit more information, that kind of thing, and start to show the value of what an individual expert coach will do. And then we'll go from there. Any other questions around this process? I love this stuff. I could talk about it all night. I really, really could. If there's not any other questions right now, I thank you guys for tuning in. Check out the program. Let me know if there's anything else. Have a good night.